All right, and welcome back to, of course, Say What? Nakwambia huku kunanyesha kunyesha, but you know what, my guests are here, so you know what, I'm happy. I'm happy that my guests are here. And thank you so much for staying with us. If you're tuning in right now, karibu sana. It's going to be a fantastic show tonight, as always. Yeah. And of course, tonight we have in focus a very sensitive topic. We are really talking about bills. Bills are really sensitive when it comes to relationships, at home, marriages, relationships. You know, you name it. And so we're asking, nani anafaa kulipa bills? Is it always the man? Ama sometimes it's the woman, some seasons change, or what's supposed to happen? So talk to us on our WhatsApp number, and I'll be looking at our responses, your responses shortly. We have our question of the day. Who's supposed to take care of the bills? Talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. So let me introduce it. Today we are so colorful. Tunakaa fiti. Let me start from the lovely Pastor Sue.
Thank you. Wow.
I love that comment.
Wow, thank you.
Where are you from?
I am actually from a meeting. I was in Kiserian.
Kiserian.
Kiserian, wonderful. Very good people and very welcoming.
Yes, yes.
I've had a very women seminar that we have had there at Bishop Mankura and Reverend Sophie, and the day was awesome. Then after that I went to Clay City, kutibu wanaume wangu, kukuja sasa show. Kutibu wanaume wangu. Wanaume wangu lazima wakae tuwatoa ikiwa mzuri.
I love that.
Oh, yes.
So the seminar, what is the one thing you got from the seminar? Just one.
I was the teacher, so I was teaching them. We were talking about a woman beyond limits, and I was teaching them who is the Holy Spirit, what are the functions of the Holy Spirit in a believer, and how he helps you to break the limits.
I love that. All right, love it. And of course, we have the lovely Karimi. Karimi, how are you?
I'm fine.
You look lovely too.
Thank you.
Where are you from? Are you dressed up for Say What?
I came from an occasion. It was a Rorashio occasion.
Wonderful.
Yes, dowry payment, and I've had a very beautiful time. I have danced, and then I passed by a place. A friend of mine is celebrating her birthday. Vera is celebrating her birthday today. So I went, danced again, and had a good time. And then Say What?
Say what?
Say what?
And then, of course, the man of the man to balance everything out today. Salano, how are you doing?
Only been in the Gideri.
You've only been in the Gideri. How are you doing? How was your day? How's Beryl?
Beryl is fine. I know she's watching with the kids. Hi. Ariella, Gazella, Commando, and Zele. Yeah, my day has been so good.
Okay.
And I'm ready for this show.
Absolutely.
Tonight, yeah.
Thank you so much. So, guys, you know what? I have to mention, because I know this person is watching.
Yes.
But I feel like he represents a lot of people who watch Say What.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I met him yesterday. I was just doing my rounds, my errands. He's called Fred Luvai. I'm sure you're watching. Nakwambia anasema hii show imechange marriage yake.
Oh, wow.
Yani, we stood there in the mall for like almost 15 minutes, and he was just saying the way they were going through a hard time with their wife, and they never miss Say What. And even after wameenda kwa church wa muombewa, they still tune in, and this is where actually they got healing. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I mean, how does it feel, Pastor Sue, kusikia watu nachenjiwa na a show like this?
In fact, that is the feedback I get outside.
Yeah.
There are people who tell me, even my patients, that they don't fail, you know, to watch us every Saturday. It has become their most watched, you know, show.
Yeah.
And I want to say that God has been faithful for 1 year, 2 years now.
Imagine
that God has been giving us knowledge on different topics, even as we bring different expertise and different people who have come and shared a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
I've also learned and grown
even me.
so much, especially from Karemi and the rest of the guests who have actually come. My life has changed. And I want to say that I'm really, really grateful for this opportunity. May TV47 live forever.
Amen.
Change lives and change families.
We love that.
Thank you so
All right. So now coming to tonight's topic, it's also one very sensitive one.
Yes.
Salano, we're talking about bills.
Yeah.
Pesa. Nakwambia pesa haijawahi. It's this time immemorial. That I think is the most, a conflict-based issue in many relationships.
Money.
So when you hear about bills, and the question we're asking our guests, our audience tonight, who should pay the bills? Just like that, who should pay the bills according to you, Salano?
The man.
The man.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, okay. Wow. Okay. Tell me more.
You know, everything has an order and has an origin. Even when you see some Pharisees who are coming to Jesus, now in this case, what do you think? You used to tell them in the beginning.
Yes.
How was it?
Yeah.
Where did this thing begin from? And why am I saying it's the man? If you look in the book of Genesis, chapter 3, when the woman or when, let's say, when Adam sinned,
Yes.
God summoned an emergency meeting. And the person who was appointed this meeting was Adam, Eve, and the snake. So he began passing judgment for these three people. He told the snake, from today, you not walk on your feet, but on your belly. Maybe the snake used to walk with the 4 limbs, or when it used to walk standing. So now you'll walk on your belly. He told the woman, from today, you'll have birth pains during childbirth. And then that was done. Then he came to the man, told the man, now for you, for what you have done, because you listen to the woman, cast is the ground. He didn't cast the man the way he cast the woman and the snake. He told the man, cast is the ground. So you will toil and sweat as you eat from this ground. Now, he never told the man and the woman that you too will toil and eat. It was the man. So it was the law of the man to sweat and toil and feed the woman and others. And even this pattern was even picked by our forefathers. If you look at our those old days, who are going to hunt? Men. Who are going to fish? Men. So it's now this generation we are trying to change things around. Now we want to bring women in to begin helping us paying the bills. But providing provision, sweating is entirely the man's house. This is what I'm saying without fear of contradiction. Because you see, when you talk about 50-50, let me say maybe that you scored 50% in your exam. It doesn't mean that you only had 50 in one paper. You had maybe 40 in English, 70 in Kiswahili, 19 in this one, and then an average, you have what? 50. So when you talk about 50 in marriage, you are talking about now 50 in taking care of kids, 50 in paying bills, 50 in all areas.
Everything.
But you never hear a person or a man who has a wife who doesn't have a job talking about 50-50. It's always about when akishapata kazi now ni 50-50. So only about one area finances. That's very skewed. It should be from all areas. So if a man ever tells you that we have to do 50-50, first ask him, maybe we are going to get married. So anakwambia, now me, I think in our marriage you'd be sharing 50-50. Ask him, how many kids do you want us to have? Let's have 4. So you'll carry 2, I'll carry 2. We tuanzia hapo, sindio? You will carry 2 pregnancies, I'll carry 2 pregnancies. Because it's 50-50. Now, there are things that cannot be shared. So childbearing is specifically for the woman, as God said. Therefore, providing is specifically for the man, as God said. So we cannot share that.
No sharing.
No sharing. But, but if the woman has seen she has money, and she feels she wants to chip in, that's okay. She can tell you, but I've been feeling, unajenga nyumba, you've been paying mafundi, paying school fees, paying our rent, and I got my job, I think I should leave kidogo. Allow me to be paying the rent, or allow me to pay the school fees as you take care of others. That's okay. Let it come from her. Not you telling her now, from today, you'll be giving me your 50%, I give it. No.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
You know, so much passion.
It doesn't work.
Hey, Lydia, I know you're one person on the show you've said very many times about the sharing. About coming together and being one. After what you've heard from Salano, do you still maintain that?
Yes, I still maintain that.
What are your sentences about what he said? It is a man.
Number one, I really love where he's coming from.
Especially
when he brings out the biblical perspective of the work, of the man's responsibility to provide. And this is one of the areas that actually connect so well with the traditional, relationships, whereby the men were used and they were socialized to actually provide for their families. Based on the word of God, and probably we all know that is what's supposed to be. But also again, I am aware that there is culture shift. I'm aware that we are moving from traditional perspectives to the modern perspectives. And so as a psychologist, remember that I've got to look at these different perspectives. That let me give an example. A woman who has been a housewife, and the man has been providing for her, and now she's got maybe a child, one baby, five children. Then at some point, something just happens, and this woman passes on. The man passes on. So I'm wondering, this woman was so used to being provided for. What happens to her? And most of the time, whenever partners, especially whenever husbands pass on, or sometimes women are divorced, I've seen most women really struggle, especially if they were being taken care of by their husbands. And so now to bring in a balance, this is when our partnership comes in. You bring in a certain amount, I bring in a certain amount so that you can be able to together
Yes,
as partners,
yes.
put bread on the table, take care of our bills. I really love the fact that a man needs to take ownership and ownership of the family, because he is the head. And you can't be the head only when it comes to making decisions,
Yes, yes.
or calling out a shot, but now when it comes to maybe other things like house chores, responsibilities and all that, you still are not coming in as the leader. I think there should be balance. However, the idea of leadership is not something that I would call is as a man's responsibility.
Right.
Akiwa peke yake. Can we come together with, you bring your idea, I bring my idea, then we find something that works for both of us. Yes.
Okay.
So I am trying to see how, Salano, we can be able to bring in a balance so that there can be some partnership,
yes.
while still following the word of God.
Yeah.
How do we balance this? I don't know if Pastor Sue will be the best person to bring this.
Pastor Sue, put my
Sweetheart, I love you.
Thank
I
you.
think the school of thought,
I love
both
the
of them.
contribution of Salano and our psychologist Karemi.
Yeah.
I want to say this. Let me begin from the side of Salano. The day Eve provided to Adam, death and sin entered into the world.
Exactly.
Oh.
I want you to think what I'm saying.
Okay.
The day. As long as Adam was the provider, giving food to Eve, there was no death, there was no sin. The day Eve stretched her hand and gave Adam what to eat, sin and death entered into this world. Until today,
Wow.
there is sin
That's
and death.
profound.
Yes.
However, it is important for us to understand that times has changed. Like women now, we are empowered, we are working, we have even better jobs, sometimes
Yes.
even more than our husbands. And so what we need to do is to make sure what I see is appropriate, I would suggest. Though it may not happen to other families because of different mindset of different men.
Yeah.
I see like the man should take the lead. Yeah, I have brought this money, but we should sit down with Pastor Munene and know what are our bills per month. Our bills per month, let's say, is 100,000. So what is the rent? What is the school fees? What is what? He's the one who is supposed to kind of like bring that meeting of knowing how do we use our money.
Okay.
You get the point?
The
There should be a
first
leader.
instance,
There should be someone who is
yeah.
taking responsibility, because if both of us are doing it, sometimes I may think he did it and he never did it.
got
So
you.
there should be someone. Let me give an example of my home, my family, what we
Yes,
do.
yes.
It is true there's a money that comes through me and there's money that comes through Pastor Munene. But we agreed in our family that is the one who manages every bill in our family.
Okay.
So what we do from our business, I'm paid a salary. And that's why it's very important if you're working, make sure if you're working with your wife, for example, in a hardware, this biashara tunafanya, make sure that you pay your wife a salary. It's very important. It also makes her feel, that worth of feeling I can give myself to this job. But hii mambo ya kumpatia 500 every day aende akapike chakula jioni, it is not right. So make sure you are giving your wife a salary.
Okay.
A salary that fits her, so that she can be able to buy her bring, buy makeup,
Yes,
buy
yes.
fascinator, those things that are girlish.
Does it
It's
necessarily have to be that you're working together, or just normally there should be something for your
I'm
wife?
talking of a family where the husband and the wife works together in the same company.
Okay, got you.
Unlike this other one who works different, like I and Pastor
Yes,
Munene.
yes,
You're getting that. But still, because we have a company, he still pays me and he pays himself. That's what we do.
Okay.
Then now, we bring now the money that has been left after paying the bills and loans and everything. We bring the money and say, what are we going to do with this school? The school fees around 400,000. There is this loan that we need to pay. That's how we do ourselves.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, we make sure all the bills are met, and I'm aware, though he's the one who is doing it.
Yes.
That responsibility is very important when a man takes a lead.
Got
You're
you.
getting that.
Yes.
So I see, because most of the times women, you might find you are the one God brings a lot of money through you.
Yes.
So you should not use that money to intimidate your husband. What you need to do is to speak. What about a husband who doesn't speak? Then just do things the way you do them. Because their husbands, they're insecure, they're intimidated by the earnings of their wives. If that's the way your husband is, then you as a woman, you can't watch things go wrong.
Down, yeah.
Rise up and panga hiyo nyumba. Make sure everything is paid. Do this. Give him the responsibility you think he can be able to handle. However, I keep telling the men, if it is possible, and it is possible, men, ensure that if you are paying rent it is the money that you can afford.
Okay.
You're getting that? Because it is good to give your family a place to stay if you're renting.
Yes, yes,
unless those who have bills.
Yeah.
So if you're renting, because there's a time we were renting, I would see even if Pastor Munene was earning whatever he would make sure he's the one who pays the rent for us. The other things I can come in. You get to the point. But when it comes to rent, he would make sure he will look for an appropriate place whereby he can pay the rent and probably chip in a few things. That's okay. As you rise in finances, some of these things are not a challenge at all, because now money has come. And when money comes, you even find you have a manager who manages that. So it depends from one level to another. However, since we are dealing with people who are down, let the man lead. If really you have a man who has proper sense of direction. But if you have a man who drinks every money he's wasting, you're getting so you can't give him money and then he goes and drinks all the money. Because those are the men that we have. Or amekunywa dawa, ameenda kuhanya, you know those things. No, as a woman, rise up. You get the point. That's why psychologist Karimi told us a very powerful statement that has remained in my heart. It is important for a woman to exercise feminine energy and masculine energy. Where you need to make decisions with the masculine. Where you need to be feminine to your husband, be feminine. You're getting that? So those two energies are very important for you to know where to come in. But if you have a responsible husband like Pastor Monene, my dear, I've handled everything. Even in my life. I even don't know the car, whether it has fuel, whether it was taken to garage. Why? The man is responsible and he loves doing that. You're getting that. So it depends from one family to another. However, there are families that you keep on talking. Issues about money are very important, because when you don't talk about money, that's where the challenge comes. There are two areas that are very sensitive: toa and money. And couples that manage finances very well can manage their toa very well, can manage their communication very well. Okay. Those two pillars are very important. Zinaingiana. If we can be able to have a good communication on toa, a good communication on finances, and then on our communication, that family will stand the test of time. So finances can tell you where you people are, because if you can't build without communication. Remember, this family also, as children are coming in, bills also increase. You're getting that? Their responsibility, probably the dreams that you want to have a house. And I keep telling couples, and I wish you can listen to this, and I've seen Pastor Munene do this. Every person, when you're marrying, desire by the 10th year, before your daughter goes to grade 10, you're already in your own home. I wish I was told that. I wish we were told that. Even if you are a house boy, even if you are a border guy, it is possible to organize yourself with your wife when your firstborn is going to secondary. Inaitwa secondary, senior secondary. Mukue kwenyu. You are in your own house. It is possible. But that can only come if you people are discussing about finances and the bills that are coming, you know how to pay them. Don't live above your means. No. Live within your means. Even as you save and invest, make sure that you do it together. Yes.
We're very powerful. Salano, have you changed your mind about it? You still are there.
I agree with them.
Yes.
What Karimi said was very true. But what I'm saying is that you don't coerce your wife that now.
Thank you.
You have to take
You have to bring your salary and give me 50%.
Okay.
It's the woman to see how my husband has been taking care of our houses. This man has been struggling paying our bills. He has been paying our rent. He pays school fees. He takes care of construction. He bought the land. As a wise woman, I think I should step in somewhere.
Thank you.
And she'll come and tell you, by the way, I think Baba Nanyum, from today, let me take care of food in the house, things like rent. Let me do that. That's very okay. But you coming and telling your wife, now you see, how much do you earn? 200K, me I'm earning for 500. So you bring your, then we share. It's very wrong. It's very wrong. A woman, they always say that she's a helper.
Wow.
This person is just a helper. It's like I'm in my farm doing my farm work. I'm a part of Pastor Munene is there in her farm and Alema. And then I can say, Pastor Munene, can I come and help you? When I come, my friend tells me, Salano, now me I'm going home. So, but make sure umemaliza paga pale, make sure that place is very well dug, and then align my land. Alafu yaenda niache. I'll also take my jembe and go home. I only came to help you. You cannot now hand over all your responsibility now because I came to help you. When I have come to help you, I'm the one now to decide how far I can go and how much I can give. So you don't come and tell your wife now as a helper now. You see, and but then there's something about men. The moment a man discovers that you are able to pay bills on your own, you are able to pay rent, he starts retracting.
Thank you.
You will see now, Atakwambia hii mwezi ni kwamba unaweza lipa rent. Alafu utalipa. Next month he won't ask you. Atapotea tu hata lipa alafu utazilanda ndo anakuja you are like haukulipa nilikuwa na shida fulani, because he knows now you can do what you can pay. Most men, the women, they discover that this woman is capable, they begin drawing back. Pesa naanza kupata kazi nyingine, anambia nalipa loan, I'm servicing somewhere, I bought what office, there was some mistake I made. So they'll begin now, you find now the woman is taking over everything. That's why the man should now take over and lead everything in that house as the head.
Wow.
As the woman is following, not that I'm not saying that now you become the dictator, no. We are discussing finance, but now I'm coming up as the motion mover.
Yes, motion mover.
Yeah, I have this money. What do we do with it? Then you bring your idea. Sisemi sasa mimi ndio the head, nimenunua shamba sijakwambia, I've gone and done this without telling you. I should involve you, but now I should take over the lead as the lead of the house.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to understand from the perspective. You said a wise woman. There's a point to say a wise woman.
Yes.
Good. What if you're not dealing with a wise woman and you're struggling, a bit in life here and there? Maybe you've even lost a job, or maybe the savings that you had for the family, they are depleting. And this wise woman, yours is not that wise, because there are also cases whereby there are women who don't feel it, they don't see it, they just know salano ni wewe na ni wewe. What happens?
Pastor said that
are you
now,
not allowed to tell them like?
Pastor said that no one is a mind reader.
Yes, thank you.
No one can read what you are thinking.
Yes, yes.
I cannot sit and say, now, I think Betty thinks that I need some money from her. I can come and tell her, by my wife,
exactly,
I have lost my job.
Yes.
And I think the savings that I had will only take us for the next 3 months. I'm asking you, before I get another job, can you please step in?
Okay.
And she'll come and step in.
Okay.
But if you can't communicate, so now you are now there. You know, she knows maybe my money is for making my body, buying my things, gali things. If you lose your job, she'll continue just doing those things. Yes. And if you see that this woman does not know what's happening in the house, because you have never taken up that role of being the lead in communication also. So she doesn't know what is happening in the house. She doesn't know that you have a job or you don't have a job, whether you lost. So you must come and tell her, today I lost my job, and from what I have, can only push us for this period. Can you please step in? I think even if she's not very wise, she'll listen to that.
She'll listen to that.
Yes.
Karemi, you want to answer something with regard to that, say something about that, but also just looking at communication and how it's so important to actually be able to say these things so that people are not guessing that, oh, my husband still has that job, or he still has that business that he used to make this much money, he still has, kumbe maybe at a business ilifungwa. Yeah.
So I think I am loving this conversation because it is actually getting me into reflection and creativity. And as before I get now to what you just asked, I'm here. My mind has gotten into the Bible, and I find a Proverbs 31 woman who is working, who is making money, who is trading, who is ensuring that the house has got, the children have their clothes on and all that. And the man is leading, actually was a leader in the community. Yeah. I look at a lady called Lydia in Acts 16. Lydia was a worshiper. Lydia was a businesswoman. She was making money. She was selling purple cloth. Okay. So she was and she was providing for the ministers, the likes of Kina Paul. She was providing for them. And I was asking myself, these women who are making money, because I know there are quite a number in the Bible, where was this money going? Was it being factored into the relationships? And in God's eyes, from God's eyesight, does God expect these women to spend their money in the family from a point of obligation or from a point of nikitaka naeza nikatumia or not? Okay, it's a reflection. It's going on in my mind. So maybe it's something you can talk about. In my opinion, I think the balance of partnership, again, I come back to partnership. I'm pro partnership all the way. What is very important for a partnership in a relationship is structure. That this is when our power balancing comes in. This is where we need to know who is guiding us, who is leading us in a particular area of our lives. Okay, for example, we can come up with a structure where we know there's the person who ensures that the household is taken care of is the lady. We can come up with a structure where we know the person who takes care of the finances. You can be the one providing, but not the one managing.
Okay.
I think there is also that.
Yes.
Okay. So we need to come up with a structure on that. there are people even who come up with structures on sex matters, you know, intimacy, right? Who initiates UDA, of course, I'm for anybody should initiate.
Anybody should.
But there are relationships whereby people, someone believes me as a woman, I should not initiate. And for some men, there are men who are not comfortable with a woman initiating because they feel like if you initiate intimacy, you could be, you know, you could be getting some ideas from elsewhere.
I know, Pastor Sue, you really want to talk about.
She's already.
Yes, I'm already burning.
You are, I know, right? So again, I'm coming back to structure. There are families that have a structure regarding whenever there is conflict, who actually begins addressing the issues, maybe based on where they are at emotionally. There's someone maybe who's more irritable, and so whenever if she takes charge, or if he takes charge, then most probably the conflict resolution may not come to fruition. So in a relationship, we need to come up with know who leads, who takes the lead, all right? Now, when we are making this structure, what should we consider? We should consider each other's personalities, okay? For example, you find a relationship whereby we have a man who is more phlegmatic and a woman who is more choleric. The choleric has a natural capacity to lead, to push, okay? They are more goal-oriented. They are pushers. They are, yes, as you're saying. And then for the men, maybe the man is phlegmatic, who is, you know, the calm, the one who likes behind the scenes. Actually, phlegmatics tend to even prefer being led, you know, being guided, okay? Depending on where you are at. So you can imagine if we say, you phlegmatic, you need to come out so strongly, you need to provide, you need to, it can be quite overwhelming for the phlegmatic. And I've seen situations whereby a woman is earning more and is earning more based on what they present, you know, their personalities, or how they're able to push businesses out there, you know, drive how aggressive they are in nature. So how do we balance that? Then when we look at our personality differences, when we even look at our backgrounds, maybe somebody was used to the woman being the one in their family, being the one who is leading the family, who is running the finances, and maybe for the man, for him is a calm type, and for him what he knows is once you guide us on our finances, we are good to go, or when you provide, we are still good to go. Families need to look at all these things, all right? The dynamics. Thank you so much, Pastor Sue. So if for us to be able to tell what this is, there must be communication, because this is what now you're bringing up. I need to say, but as I was growing up, this is what I saw. For example, in my case, my dad is the only one who bought meat in our home.
Oh, yeah. I think all dads, when we were growing up.
He's the only one. I never, up to date, even when I go home to date, I have not seen my mother give money to buy meat. It's Daddy who buys meat. And if we want meat, we have to look for him, call him from wherever he is. Anza kama ako Isiolo ama ako wapi. Piga simu, Daddy atume pesa ya nyama. That is a structure.
That's a structure.
That's a structure, by the way, all right? Is it the mom didn't earn, she was earning, she was making money, she still is making money, but she doesn't still buy meat. So as couples, could we have conversations? Where are we at? What do we know? What background information do we have? And now, because we have come together, two people that are very different, can we come up with something that fits our relationship?
Got you.
Right?
Not looking at Salanos, not looking at the Munenes.
Yes, ours. What do we want? Okay, we are okay with you providing as a woman. We are okay with you as a man providing. We are fine with me as a maybe staying at home for a period of time so that you can bring up children as the man is providing, or even vice versa, depending on what you want to achieve as a couple.
All right.
Awesome.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Wow.
Pastor Suwacha tuone comments na iskeni mingi sana. Let's just look at some of the comments. There we go. Before we come to Pastor Sue, this is Winex Mbane. Both the revenue sharing formula of 50-50 or 70-30. If both are employed or doing business like the way national government is sharing money to counties. Okay, we next Mukuskia. This is Shil Mamake Melissa. You're saying whatever works for both partners is best, yeah? but communication is key to avoiding conflicts and financial stress.
Yes.
All right, that's just what Karimi has just mentioned. Stephanie Nick, you're saying a man providing is admirable and many women respect it, but a relationship where both partners support each other financially and emotionally is usually the most stable.
Wow.
All right,
Yeah.
This is Oceanic Power Greens, you're saying, both because they are one flesh.
Wow.
Sheiks Kamau, you're saying, I thought we can share, but no. Let the man do, please. Okay. Another one here. A man should be able to provide the bills, I guess, but a woman can also help. Yeah. Underline help. That is the Solano was really saying that. It's underlining help, all right. Virginia Crown, you're saying, depends on family dynamics. Hey, it's like people are getting our words, eh? Different families, different mpangilios.
Wow.
Hey. Thank you, Virginia, for that. Coming to Instagram, let's be honest, many people want equality until the bill arrives. Then suddenly becomes the man should provide. Interesting. All right, Salano, you're saying kuna mtu, Pastor Sue, actually
Yes.
I was on
Yes.
Pastor Sue.
Yeah.
Do you think, okay, or how can couples handle when conflicts come, like financial stress, when the man cannot really go out and do these things? How should women handle these things when, innately supposed to be men who, pay for these bills?
I want to say there's a very strong statement that Saranu has said, and I've seen it even in my counseling session.
Yeah.
Whereby when a woman provides, like for example, there's an error I've seen with many women who are working. School fees ni mzee alikuwa ende alipe, then he delays a little bit, and because the woman is earning, goes and pays the school fees.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Let me tell you, you have opened a door that you never close. Utalipia huyo mtoto mpaka university mpaka amalize.
Oh, that's what Salama was saying.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Okay.
And that's very, very important because I've seen it, and it gives the woman such bitterness. But you are the one who opened it. And I keep asking, is there any time you paid the school fees without his consent? Yeah, you need yona kwani mtoto atafukuzwa shule.
Hey.
I tell him no, kufukuzwa shule kwani ni kumaanisha ni death. It's not a matter of life and death. You'd still have given him time if he said there's some amount of money he's waiting. Umgoje, labda alienda akaongea na teacher, and the teachers knew that, or the headmaster knew that he's coming to pay. That's where we go wrong. Especially a woman when you have money, there's something we call money madness. You feel, must I wait for him?
Yes.
Can't I pay this bill? No. When you're dealing with a husband and a wife, that's something that you need to check.
Okay.
For me, even when I have money, I've seen that. I always want to wait for Pastor Munene to do what he wishes to do for his children and for me and the family. I don't go and do it because I have money, even when I have money, because I still want to show him that I honor his words. And because I know he's a man who, even if he says he will pay, he will surely pay. Even when he delays,
Yes.
I want to respect that. You're getting that?
Okay.
Yes. So when the teacher calls me and tells me, no, there's a school fees, Pastor Sue, that has not been paid, namwambia, number ya Pastor Munene ni 07, I give it very fast.
Really?
Call him. I think he's the one who's supposed to handle that. Ni sawa. You're getting that. Then he better call me and tell me, ma'am, I saw like you had some money. Can you pay? Then I'll see how I'll sort you out. And most of the times we are never sorted out.
Yeah. Inaendanga ikienda.
Inaenda tu ikienda. Lakini unajua pesa yenu ni yenu.
Yes,
You're
okay.
getting that.
Yes.
There's something else I would also want to mention. Women who have money. It is important for you to also don't allow money to get into your head so much. But all the same, I also want to actually appreciate the women, because 90% of the money that gets into the hands of a woman is spent within the family.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
But a man, I think because of responsibilities with the friends, relatives, extended families, there's a way they scatter their money and they believe tomorrow they will have, and somehow it comes, somehow it doesn't come. You get the point?
Yes.
So men are not very predictable when it comes to money. And that's why we have said in this show, it is important for a couple to speak out the way forward. Like for example, if we want to help my mother-in-law, at what extent?
Yes.
Is it the appropriate time? Are there other things that we need to do so that it prepares us to help them?
Okay.
Those are things that needs to be discussed over.
Okay.
But unfortunately, most marriage couples don't talk about finances.
Yes.
And that's why now we are finding a lot of assets, you know,
unclaimed
because my husband went and invested somewhere in MMF and kept quiet.
Yes.
So peradventure, or the wife goes to heaven, you know, at the end of the day, that money is left, you know, unclaimed. And our children probably, they were small. And so communication is very important, as we have said here, and Karim is really repeating.
Yes.
So for me, what I see is what works for you as a family.
All right.
What works for you as a family.
I want to ask you a question about what she just said, because I think it's so important.
Yeah, ask it, ma'am.
Yeah, so you have, the husband has not paid rent. You have the money. How should you approach it as a woman? Should you say, like, nilisikia, haujalipa hii, so nataka kusaidia, or should you just ignore?
For me, I would wait until the what we call agent comes and tells me I'm seeing like last month you had not paid the rent and this month naona kama imekaribiana. Nimwambie just give me today, I talk to my husband. So I'll go and ask him, hey, the agent had come and told me blah blah. What are your plans? I mean sina pesa. So what do we do? What do we to harm or what do we do? You get the point. I would want to hear from him
the solution.
Yeah, but not me to say, unajua hata you have not been paying the rent. Missy, I'm not going to move from this place. I can even pay for a whole year. You know, now that language, now you are arrogant, you are proud, and now it gives the man bitterness, and he knows, oh, you already have your money. And that's why you find men have no problem, but I think it's their nature, the way they are created. They are created to give.
Yes.
Yeah, a man is a giver. A woman is a receiver. There is something about the money that comes from a man. Like I find I may even be having 50,000, but if Pastor Morene gives me 10,000, I'll value that money so much. There's something about a woman being given, and especially cash money. Wachana na M-Pesa, cash money, pesa, tasrimu, kwa bahasha, or upatiwe tu hivi. There's something about a woman being given. And so even a woman who works, it is important for the married men to know that even if your wife earns more money than you, make sure that there's some amount of money that you just give your wife. Yeah, and when you give your wife, it will come back to you, good measure, pressed down and running over to you. When a woman is able to trust you and feel secure financially, when she's financially stable, she will never frustrate this man unless you are funny, unless you are brought up wrongly. Because there's no way, Munene, when Munene was earning more money and I had little, he handled me well. He never mistreated me. Then something happens and I'm the one now who is earning more money. I don't think I would have the gut to revenge on that. I think I would want to do the best I can. And that's the heart of a wife. I'm talking of a wife, not a concubine. A wife. That's a wife heart. You want to pay back. You want to give him the best. And so communication about finances is very, very important. And also priority. Let's have priority. What should be done first and what should come last? We should communicate about that. Let's avoid procrastination about finances. Because when you keep on procrastinating about finances, there are things that get stuck. And at the end of the day, they will catch up with you. If there's a loan that was supposed to be paid and has not been paid, remember the arrears. So this can come back to you and also give stress to the family. So finances needs to be talked through. But where systems flow, where systems flow, like I would give an example of my family. I think we just have a system that works. And the system is Munene. Because me, when I'm
everything goes to him.
Munene, everything, stops with him because he knows how to manage. He's a very good manager of finances. He's not an extravagant man. He knows what is a priority, what is not a priority, what needs to be sold, what needs not to be sold. So I have tested him with years and I know when it comes to finances, he's even a better manager than I. And because of that, the little money he gives me, yangu ni ama bring, bar, those things. I go to salon and I feel good. Let him take the bills of the family. And that's something that men needs to know. When you pay your wife something small to make her feel girlish, she has no intention with this, the rest of the money. I don't know whether I'm the only one or other women are like that.
Absolutely.
And I see that everything is running the right way. Women have no much attachment, but when I find that there's an amount of money, you had a lot of money, and there's a way you spent it. You never spent with my children. You never spent with me, not even anything. You now give me that. What would I say? That feeling of anger. And I begin now even to hide more. You're getting that? So it all begins with the man. The man sets the mood. As Alanu has said, there's something about the man setting the mood. Remember, the greatest weakness of every man born of a woman is irresponsibility. Inability of a man to respond to his God-given ability of provision. The greatest weakness of every woman is independency. So everyone has a natural weakness. That's why women feel like they can do without their husbands. No, we don't say it. There's a way you feel like you can do without him.
Yes.
And then you're like, no, I have children who loves him.
Yes.
Then the mind comes back again.
Yes.
So we need to work on that, that Adamic nature that makes me feel I can do without my husband because I feel like I'm financially stable. Anything can happen. That stability can be shaken, and I'll need him. So that kind of communication is very important, as Karemi had said. Let us have communication concerning finances, and let the bills be paid on time, and let not have quarrels over money. Because if you are quarreling about money, then it means there's no progress in this family. Oh, yes.
Betty,
I want to pick two things from what they've just said, just to stress on them. Number one is there is nothing as good as empowering a woman in the house. You see, for example, for me, I have a house. If I have a house, I'll only look at, is the roof well covered? Is there a floor? That is all. I won't think about things like curtains,
small things.
I cannot think about that. As long as we are fine, we have a bed, that's okay. But we need to have bed covers. So it's very good for a woman to be empowered and have her money. You will see that she'll be doing things that you never thought that can be done. And then number two, which is also very important, is that what we are going, where we go wrong mostly, is that she doesn't know what I earn. And I don't know what she makes.
That's the other thing. So it should be on the table.
That's the biggest mistake. Accountability.
There's no accountability. So she doesn't know how much do I make per month, and how much have I saved, how much loans am I having. So we are just there. As long as things are running, there is food, the bills are taken care of, then we think that marriage is running. We must be very open. I earn this amount. But out of this, there's this amount that's being deducted for loan. So at the end of the month, I'll be having this. Let her know that. And then apart from this that I'm having, there is a friend of mine whom I'm supporting with this, or our family. So let it be very open. But now as men, we want to hide things, to have another secret bank account. Also, the woman is having her own bank account for the rainy days. Iya anasema hii ni yangu ya kujiwekelea. So when I ask you, how much do you earn? Hata hiyo job alisema 200k, but you know it's 400. So umeweka 200 yako kando. I have never seen your payslip, but I know you earn 200. But it should be very open. I should come and tell you, by this is my payslip, this is what I'm getting, and this yours. So that when we know that, even when, how Kadimi was saying that, suppose one goes, we know, we had a bank account whereby we were saving this. But now this woman who finds it so hard to manage life when now the husband has left, is because she was never involved in money matters. She never knew what the husband was earning. The moment the husband dies, the woman becomes crippled. She can't function. She doesn't know where to begin from. Anaambia by the kulikuwa loan ya mzapo inafaa ulipe. She's now thinking on how to manage her children. Also, there's a loan that is coming from this side. There's another loan. She's like, what? When this all happened? So it's very good to have that communication between how much I'm earning and how I'm using my money.
Can I add something on what Nani has said? It's very important. And this is every woman who is a good wife. Men need to know, the minute you tell your wife you earn 50,000, you've never seen a woman who can help you manage that money, and you live a very good life. But when you don't tell me, I keep having expectations. You will take us to Mombasa, you should take us to Dubai. Because of the kind of a life you are showing us, the car that you are driving. You know, I don't know how much money you earn. Women, sincere women are very cooperative if they are told the truth. The worst is when you hide money, and I start having my own expectations and they are not being met. That's where money conflict comes in. But if I know that Pastor Munene earns 50,000, surely we can't stay in a house of 30,000.
Of course.
I'll look for a house that is 15k so that the rest of the money can go towards other things. So men, speaking the truth to your wife helps her to lower her expectation about finances concerning you. You're getting that. But when you don't speak about your finances, then I have all these expectations. And when they are not met, then conflict of finances begin. Yes, my dear.
Lydia.
Thank you so much. I'm bringing, there's this concern. I think it's a question you had asked Pastor Sue. What happens when a bill has not been paid? Maybe house rent has not been paid, and we don't know what to do, and maybe there could be some form of conflict in this case. Number one, as a psychologist, I'm concerned. Why is it that this woman did not know that the bill was not paid? paid? Why is it that she did not know that the school fees had not been paid?
Yeah.
What exactly is happening in this relationship? All right?
So there's no openness.
There is no openness.
Right, right.
There's no transparency.
There is no transparency. We need to, that is number one. Number two, there are insecurities. There are financial insecurities because either the man is afraid of openly saying, by the way, I'm not in a position to pay the house rent. I've seen men who have been working and then they lost their jobs, and every morning they wake up, take a shower, put on the suit for 3 months and go to work, and you're not communicating to your wife and telling her that, by the way, I'm not working anymore. So the woman keeps on, asking for money, give us, provide for us, and of course that keeps on adding more pressure on this man just because he was not transparent enough, he was not open enough. This man who is afraid of saying, when he doesn't have money, is a man who is wounded, who is carrying financial baggages, traumas. Okay, so there is fear, there is insecurity that's coming from somewhere.
Okay.
And the truth is, we do not have families that are ideal. Can we agree to that?
Yeah, there isn't.
Pastor Sue, I love your marriage.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's
can only share principles.
It's beautiful, yes. Those are principles. But the truth is, the number of couples I meet, quite a number really struggle with different areas. Okay,
Very true.
When you talk of a man should provide, you find maybe a man who is not working, and the woman who is working.
Yes, yes.
When we talk about maybe responsibilities, the man, both of them are working, but the man is expecting the woman to cook, to clean, to do what, and both of them are working. So can we maybe, as it's because I'm a psychologist, that I'm looking at the dysfunctionality of
no
relationships.
Ideal
Yes, and I can tell you, the ideal families are maybe 5% of all families that
I don't
we
think there is.
You-
For me, I don't
Oh,
think.
maybe
We
there.
share principles.
Oh.
It's something I can buy from you,
Yeah.
buy from Betty,
Yes.
then try to, to customize it to my family.
Yes,
I
yes.
don't think there is an ideal
There is an
family.
ideal one, right?
Marking
Family.
scheme.
Yeah,
But-
but there's no marking scheme.
But even at least there is one that looks like,
Almost.
kuna wanakaribia mahali,
All right.
you know?
Okay.
But the truth is, because we are broken, the Bible says that
Yeah.
the heart of a human being
Is desperately wicked.
desperately wicked, all right? We carry a lot of brokenness, we carry a lot of wickedness, a lot of insecurities and all that. So you realize that many families are struggling in different
All
areas.
right.
Yes.
So as we address the issue of finances, also let us consider these families whereby hatuna, maybe there are no alignments, okay, on different areas of their relationships. So maybe one, we say we need to look at the communication, as we are agreeing.
Communication.
Yes.
Let's communicate. Let us talk about where we are. Let us even be vulnerable, because vulnerability is something that we pick. It's something that we grow ourselves into
right.
if we love one another.
Okay.
Okay. And
Okay.
also let us accommodate each other
other.
in the relationship.
I love
Wonderful.
that. We are now about to wind up, but I know, Lydia, you have a book.
Oh.
Before we finish, talk to us about that very quickly. Congratulations. Your book is out. I didn't know you were writing anything.
Imagine.
Talk to us about it before we wrap up the show.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Betty, for that. So this book is called Who Are You, Woman? I launched this book last weekend on Saturday.
Congrats.
Yeah, it's one that I've written actually 2 books. This one and another one called The Courage to Be Uniquely You. I am one person who is very passionate about identity and accepting the person that you are, not allowing yourself to be defined by the societal norms and expectations, but bringing out that version that God has created from within.
Yeah.
So this story is this book is a conversation starter. It is my personal story of how I got into, how I grew up, some of the insecurities I grew up with, low self-esteem, low confidence, lack of confidence, hurts and wounds that I carried, traumas that I've carried, and how I've been able to, heal and grow out of them. And more so, being a marriage and family therapist, I've really shared my story, my personal story of how I got into marriage thinking that, I had no voice, I had no potential, I did not have anything to offer in the relationship, and all I needed was to wait and be told what to do. So this book, I would say it's available
Where is it? Where can we buy it?
You can buy it, you can call. We have the copies, the physical copies in our office in Spa Mall, 2nd floor, or you can call us on 0729795131. That is 0729795131. But also, again, you can just go to our website, ageconsult.com or lydiakarimi.co.com, and you'll get my books at only 1,200 shillings.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Try kwa mtandao, at least you can get people who are interested in that. Thank you.
Yes.
And congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right. Salano, any last words, please, as we wind up the show?
Yeah, last word is that let us be open to one another
Yeah.
in our marriages. Let us share what we have. If you're there and you see your man has really been trying, support them. There are seasons, high and low.
Yeah.
Come through them when they're in their lowest, and they'll come through you when you are in your lowest. Finally, we also have books with my wife, 5 books. One is called, oh, this is my camera.
This is the camera.
Okay, hi home. So we have 5 books. One is called Sacred Intimacy. This book is just there to help you rejuvenate love in your marriage, to bring back fire. Another is called Healing After Infidelity. If you went through heartbreak, cheating in your relationship, this will help you to heal. We have Conflict Management for those who are having issues in solving their issues, how to talk, how to communicate. And then we have Bridging the Distance for those who are in the long distance marriages. Finally, we have the From Lust to Lasting Love, those dating and in courtship. Then we also offer counseling sessions to couples, both virtual and physical. If you want to get us on 0728 794 307, 0728 794 307, or 0716 876169.
All right. Thank you very much, Salano.
Thank you so much.
Time is not on our side.
Yeah.
Talk to us about Clay City.
Thank you. Clay City Medical Center is where I have been for the last 25 years. And in that hospital, in that clinic, we deal with several issues, especially if you are a man. I'm a man advocate to make sure that your twatwa is okay. So if you are there and you have erectile dysfunction, you have premature ejaculation, your joy gun is small, you come and we treat you 4 to 6 months and things gonna be all right. And you should not be ashamed, men. These are things that are very normal, and you need to come and we shall help you. If you are diabetic, hypertension, arthritis, all these medical conditions, cancer, we are able to help you to reverse them. As you continue with your chemotherapy, radiotherapy, we come in and boost your immunity so that your body can be able to fight this infection and avoid you from going to heaven before your time. And so my number is 0712 265 746, 0712 265 746. That's my personal number. That's my WhatsApp number. You can always get me from there, and from there we see the way forward. Men, don't be ashamed. Come, we treat your sexuality, and things gonna be all right.
All right. There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It has been a fantastic conversation.
Wow.
Appreciate you guys, also the people who are watching from home, and of course from the feedback. Let's just take a look at some 1 or 2 messages before we wind up. Why should one person carry all the financial pressure in a relationship? Bills should be shared. Lydia Wanjiru, you're saying that. Quickly, we have Denoke E. You're saying some people want soft life, but don't want to contribute anything financially. Want a soft life. Mary Ann, you're saying men are tired of being treated like ATMs in relationship. Where? Okay. That's how it felt. Jay Karaoke is saying, if both partners are working, why should one handle all the bills? All right, another one here. This is Brian Oates. You're saying, if both partners are working, why should only one handle the bills? All right. Shius Kamau, you're saying, let's normalize women contributing financially without it becoming a fight. Yeah? Okay. This is Carol K.E. You're saying some men complain about paying bills, but still want to control everything. It's Martin, you're saying people want traditional men but modern independence at the same time. It can't work. Okay. Brenda W, you're saying some women are independent until it's time to pay rent. Micah, you're saying the truth is money problems reveal the real character of relationships. Pastor Suli sema hivyo. There's one here, Lucy Wanjiru, you're saying men providing doesn't mean women should sit back and do nothing. Dan Otieno is saying nowadays relationships feel more like financial partnerships than love. All right. Thank you for your comments. I really appreciate you guys watching the show. We'll see you again next Saturday, God willing. Till then, be kind to one another. And like Pastor Sue says, see you when I can't avoid you.
Oh, yes.
Good night, guys. iRevives is up next.